G'day everybody, it's Craig Cobb here from Trade with Precision. It's 2014, it's January the 7th where I am, and I hope you're all well. Back from holidays for me. Some of you lucky ones are still on holidays, others are now back at work. Either way, I wanted to sort of give you a video to get you started, kick-started for the year, and to follow up on Nick's first of the year as well. And guys, look, really, I think the emphasis needs to be at the beginning of the year, as it is for myself and a lot of our clients, is really to have a reflection on last year and set some plans in place for this year. Now, in my opinion, there are actually two starts to a year. One is a financial year, so wherever you may be in the world, the start of the financial year is generally set with your financial goals and what you're looking to achieve in that year. And then there's the new year, which starts on the 1st of January, which I believe is personal goals, okay, and you know, to do with yourself and more emotional based things rather than just, you know, strictly bottom line. Now, the interesting thing is, however, that sometimes and most more times than not, those two things overlap. So if we're emotionally and physically intact in terms of, you know, we're in a good, healthy, happy, clear thinking state of mind, we tend to achieve those financial goals a lot easier and actually achieve them because you know, everything's working in motion, we're thinking clearly, we're doing the right things, we're moving forward in the right direction. What it can also be good for at this time of year is to just do a quick little halfway point because, well, perhaps not halfway for you, but for my financial year, it's the halfway point, more or less the start of the year. And what I like to do is to go through and have a look at how my trading's been going. I like to look at those cold hard facts and see whether or not I'm on the right path or the wrong path. And this is something that I believe that a lot of people, a lot of traders don't do and don't do properly. It's extremely important to know that you're either on the right path or the wrong path, because if you're on the wrong path and you continue down that path for the next 6 to 12 months, where do you think you're going to end up? You're going to end up in a similar to or worse position than what you are in now 9 times out of 10, because the one time is a bit of luck. Okay, so what you need to do is get stock of what you're doing, how you're doing it, are you in the right direction, and do you need help? If you need help, and even if you don't need help, we're here to help you out. Okay, if you require any assistance, if you need to speak to me in a one-to-one situation, there's an opportunity for you to do that through booking on our website. If you'd like to learn more about how we trade, obviously we've got a number of webinars for you to do. And if you'd just like to have a couple of people around you or a team of professional traders that can work with you and to watch over their shoulders, then we've also got that in place as well. Now, they're your tasks. I really think you should do that. Have a look at what you're doing, and are you happy with where you are? And if you're not, then you need to make changes. Is it with us? Great. If not, no problem. But it's certainly worthwhile checking out what we've got coming up. And I think it's a perfect webinar to start the year off with, because it's really about trading any market, any time frame. Okay, the strategies that we enforce, teach our clients, and trade ourselves are about trading price action. Now, I can trade any market that I wish. I don't care whether it's equities, foreign exchange, commodities, you know, softs, you name it, I can trade it, provided that there's what we call optimal chart structure there on the charts. And we'll teach that in a bit more detail on this high performance trading for a busy lifestyle. Now guys, I'm going to show you some markets in just a minute, but those markets are going to differ. What you'll learn on this webinar is amazing way that you can really look at trading without having to give up your day job. Okay. Now I'm not talking about, you know, all you need to do is click on and it will give you buy and sell signals. No, you need to learn to trade, but this strategy on this particular webinar we're looking at is going to be able to trade on any market in any time frame, and it's going to be invaluable to you. If you haven't watched it, jump on 7 a.m. London on the 7th of January 2014. 7 a.m. London, 6 p.m. Sydney, and 8 p.m. Auckland. Now, we've also got another one coming up later on in the week, the following day, which is also how to trade Forex with precision. Once again, the strategy that you can apply or learn up here, you can apply to foreign exchange market. So combining both of these together would be an absolutely perfect way to start your year, really. We're going to demystify foreign exchange, help you to understand what it's all about, how you can do it, how you can better yourself in there. And if you're already trading it, some of the little things you might be missing out on that you could really work on. Wednesday, 8th of January, 3 p.m. New York, 8 p.m. London, 7 a.m. Sydney the next day, and 9 a.m. Auckland the next day as well. Now, to come and look at the charts, and I've got to say right now, in terms of foreign exchange, there is absolutely nothing that I'm stalking for trades right now. Not a single foreign exchange pair interests me for trading opportunities as we speak. So what do I do? Well, I don't look there. Where am I looking? Well, I've actually had my first scan in the morning. There's a couple of charts that have tickled my fancy. First being the Nasdaq. And if we have a look at the Nasdaq right now, you'll see on this daily chart that price is right back there in that buy zone. Here we go. Weekly's in an uptrend, monthly's in an uptrend. Admittedly, the monthly is overextended, and we have spoken many, many times on the ICE commentaries about a pullback being imminent, but we don't know when it's going to occur. The weekly's now pulling back a bit. It's in a good place to move from. If we get back into this buy zone in here, even better. However, we're not there. What I do see, though, is I do see price back into this buy zone. Now, we haven't got the bullish candle yet. That will be a decision for tomorrow's traders and people around the world to decide whether we get it or not. But if we do get it, it will be back at these old highs, and it would also be nearly rejecting, or more or less rejecting, 3,500, a level that I am happy to be buying from if I get the opportunity. So it's looking quite bullish. However, if it continues to sell off, then there's no signal, there's no trade, and I'm not interested. If that is the case, I'd like to see it pull back on the weekly. But I am keeping an eye on the daily, on the NQ, or the Nasdaq. The S&P 500, or the ES contract that I'm going to look at here, is very similar. And again, it's not today's candle that's going to make or break. It is going to be tomorrow's or the next day. You've got this level of resistance in here. We're also back in the buy zone. A bullish candle in here would give me the opportunity to look for long trades. Now, if I didn't want to take a long necessarily on any of these index futures, I could look in the stock market as well, because there will be some good setups in there. Keep in mind that if I was to find two trade setups, one on the NQ and one on the ES at the same time, I wouldn't go 1% on each, because that would be doubling up my risk essentially. The other two charts that I really like is Orange Juice. And the reason I like that is really on the monthly, you can see we've pulled in and we're starting to look a lot more bullish. We're moving away from these moving averages. Admittedly, the monthly is not the best of trends. The weekly, however, is starting to look better. And I'll show you the picture that I've seen myself. I've drawn in this level down here at the bottom of this bullish candle here in the buy zone. And I've drawn in a level around the top end. Okay. Now the bottom end, you can see here there's been a few rejections of price recently, but if we go back a bit further, you can see that there's been some resistance over here, bit of support here in the past, bit of support back here, and a bit of resistance back here. Admittedly, it is not an absolutely insanely good level, but there is it has worked as support and resistance around that point in the past. Add to that also the upper side of it, just above 141. You can see there's some resistance, a bit of support through here, resistance, a bit more resistance, and a bit of support. Again, it has worked as support and resistance in the past. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because those two levels, although not majorly significant, they are levels. This bullish candle has now been broken to the high side. We now see the moving averages correct in the correct order for what we'd like to see on the strategy that we'll teach on the High Performance Trading for a Busy Lifestyle webinar tonight. And what I can now see now is coming down onto the daily. We're starting to break away from this consolidation. Now, there's nothing there really on the daily other than a very short-term uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high. But as when we come down the time frames, and I'm starting to look at this in a little bit more detail, you can see much easier now the higher highs and higher lows. Now, based on where we are on this daily, weekly, and monthly chart, I believe that we could see a very significant move here on Orange Juice on the way. Now, that is what I'm looking to get positioned for. There are no trades for me just yet, but it is certainly a chart that I'm keeping a very close eye on, and I am interested in over the next couple of weeks. The other one is coffee as well. Now, coffee on the monthly had been quite overextended. There's been multiple month sell-off. We saw the first bullish monthly candle, and it broke to the high side, signaling that we might actually see a pullback up into these moving averages, which we are starting to see now. On the weekly, we do have a very short-term uptrend. The beginning has just occurred. We really have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we've got a succession of higher highs and higher lows. Last week's candle was very bullish. It's now been broken to the upside, and we look like we could be seeing a nice pullback, possibly up into this 140 level. Now, coming down to the daily, you can see as well, here is our uptrend on the daily. We've now moved away, and I'm looking to see if I can buy pullbacks, looking to get pullbacks into these, into a buy zone of one of my strategies in these moving averages as we move higher. So guys, there you go. That's the start of the year. First video. I know it's a bit of a long one, but there's a lot of things to cover at the beginning of a year. It's your opportunity really to make or break the next 6 to 12 months. Obviously, you always want to come back and reflect on how you've been going, but if you haven't got people or your own system to reflect and to learn and to move forward and to ask questions, then really it's time to get one. I hope 2014 is the best trading year you've ever had, and I hope that we can be a part of helping you towards that. Have a great trading week, guys. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.